It has the... Wow, so nice. It's a nice accordion. I think the first instrument I heard was accordion, because in Israel we have big tradition of accordion playing, which is quite a popular thing. I mean, people just meet and sing together. I remember the person also who played this accordion. I don't remember it to be emotionally fascinating. I just remember the fact that he made so much noise was for me quite impressive as a child. You know, like this instrument, and then it sounds huge. Conducting is a very mysterious thing. How is it that they understand, what I want? Because really, in a lot of moments, to be honest, you know, in the rehearsal, you stop and you correct, or you say, okay, but actually, 10 other things happen by themselves. Maybe you stop and correct only the one thing that they did not get. But so many things they just get, just happen. And you only think or feel and whatever, but you don't say anything, Thomas Beecham used to say, it's like a dragon with 90 heads, but it is one dragon. I can bet that if there is a conductor that is coming and after 2 minutes, all the musicians feel something which is the same. It works, it doesn't work, there is a click, there isn't a click, but they all feel the same. I think it's rare that they will go in the break and some people will say, amazing, and some people will say, disaster. Normally they really feel the same, I think generally in this festival I tried to bring, let's call it, things that I enjoyed or things that I really made some kind of a deep connection in the last 10 years. So it can be musicians, for example, with whom I really felt we found something together in the last years. And it can be pieces that suddenly I discovered. This project is quite a unique project. First of all, both composers wrote seasons. Piazzolla wrote 4 seasons and also Vivaldi wrote 4. It's quite interesting to see like how Piazzolla describes winter and how Vivaldi describes winter. Then there is the whole accordion mandolin history, because here basically we have Jacob Reuven, who is I don't know, one of the biggest virtuos on mandolin, and it creates a very unique situation where basically suddenly Vivaldi and Piazzolla really communicate through my improvisations, basically. So we bring Piazzolla's sound into Vivaldi with the rules of Vivaldi. And this is quite beautiful because suddenly Vivaldi sounds Jewish, suddenly, I don't know, Piazzolla sounds Lutheran, and suddenly you understand, and this is really an interesting combination. L'Histoire des Soldats, I think, is a piece that somehow goes through time and remains always very crucial, very evident. You know, in Hebrew we say, everything is written, but the choice is open. The fact that everything is written is clear there from minute number 1, but actually he has a lot of choice, the soldier, and actually he chooses eventually quite an interesting path. I'm a big admirer of Schnittke, but I think also this quintet is really something very special in the history of modern music. This piece was written when his mother died, and he's doing this kind of really very special composition about the past, about nostalgic, about perspective, and about how the past actually lives in the present, for good and for bad. All have a feeling that we are very objective about our memories, but if there is something we're really not objective about is our memories, and he basically puts it forward, and this is very, I might say, probably the most powerful piece written in the second half of the 20th century, for me, no doubt. With the festival orchestra, I wanted to come with something, also to present maybe some kind of a modern idea of program for them, So we have a double concerto by Brahms for violin and cello, the famous double concerto, which is quite evident, violin, cello, and orchestra, and they are basically dialoguing between them. This will be mirrored in another double concerto, which is a completely different orchestration. This is going to be for accordion and clarinet. I'm going to play the accordion, and my first clarinet from the orchestra in Palermo, Alessio Vicario, is going to play the clarinet. And this is a piece by a Sicilian composer named Schittino, and he wrote a very, very special piece about the story of Alma Rosé, of the orchestra of women in Auschwitz, and something very, very personal. A lot of Jewish music, Sicilian music, something very interesting. And then we're going to play the Ben Chaim First Symphony, which is somehow the combination of these two, because Ben Chaim First Symphony is exactly the Second World War history, but also the German history, because he was born as Paul Frankenburger, and he was a German composer who came to Israel and was introduced to this huge amount of folkloristic local music. And he tried to basically use these motives, this music, these sounds that he heard, and bring it into the German school, into the German structure. The interesting thing here is that if you will change the melodies, it will sound like a Mahler symphony. But because of the choices of melodies and of intervals, it suddenly sounds Arabic, it sounds Mediterranean, it sounds very different, although it is a completely European orchestra and European approach. As I grow older, I find more satisfaction in thinking together, in achieving a certain, musical something, than really say we play fast, we play slow, it was clean, it was not clean. It's like I don't care about these things anymore. And when you have this moment where you find something with other people, when everybody feel like we found something, this is very powerful, and this is where perfection or inspiration or all these things come to life somehow.